Hello?
You guys are ready to go?
So do I start? I'm sorry. I'm glad to. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me this. Is it all right to record this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. So again, let me introduce myself. I'm Brett Krasnov. I've been credentialed to cover the Union the last 4 years, mostly from the press box, and been to pressers and things like that. I've never actually interviewed a player one-on-one, so bear with me. Um, My question, my questions mainly today. My main interest is last year we had a fantasy camp for the media, and they showed us the power center and especially the food preparation area. So that piqued my interest. Being a vegetarian, leaning towards vegan more every day, I was curious about how they catered. Whether there were any vegetarian or vegan players on the team, and then how they took care of you there. So that's mostly what this interview is going to be about. And then, if you don't mind, at the end, I'm going to ask you a few questions, a few soccer-related questions as well.
Yeah,
Okay. There's not much out there on your bio. I mean, your bio start there, but your bio says you were born in Ohio, but you're now living in Brussels. And
I
I
now
Okay, and I know that your father was also a professional soccer player. So how did it go about that you were born in Ohio and then eventually wound up in Brussels?
well, so my dad had a job. He was he's like, I don't know the specifics, but his job required him to do a lot of like international travel.
Huh.
So that's actually what led us to move to Brussels when I was 3 years old. And yeah, we kind of just stayed there for 7 years until his job let him come back to the States.
Okay, and uh, so again, we'll start with the obvious. How and when did you become a vegetarian and or vegan? Did you start as a vegetarian and then moved over, or did you jump right from to being vegan?
Um, well, it's weird. So my dad had been vegetarian for a while, and I always kind of like he always like gave me like some like facts on how to become like healthier and stuff like that, and then he transitioned over to vegan, and that's when I kind of like that's when it started to spark my interest. Like that's when I started researching and stuff like that. And I never really thought I could do it because I thought since I was young and I was still growing that I needed all the like the nutrition from meat and animal products. But as I kept researching, I noticed that there's so many benefits to the plant-based diet, and so I did a project on it for school. It was like a end of the year research project, and that I think that kind of started it. That's when I started leaning a little bit towards vegan. I wasn't vegetarian before that, and so I was trying to transition over to vegan or like egg, and but I couldn't do it because I really like meat, really like cheese,
Mm,
and then when I watched the um, shoot, I can't think of the movie. I'm blanking on it right now. Game Changers.
right.
That's when I really transitioned over to the vegan diet, and I've been a vegan or plant-based for I think a year now, a little
Okay.
bit over a year.
Nice.
So, mhm.
So really was your dad that got into it. Your mother also? Was she also a
No,
vegetarian or
she
leaning?
wasn't. It was just my dad.
Okay. So at least that's how I know that they influenced your eating habits from early on. Um, did you did you notice any kind of performance change going as your diet changed?
I did. So when I was eating meat, I don't know. I just didn't feel like super energized every day. Like I would kind of like hit a wall towards the end of the day, and I would always feel like so tired and unenergetic while I was after I 2 hours in the morning, I would feel 100% by the afternoon, so I could get a good second session in. So that's one of the things that really helped me make some strides in terms of improvement. I could get a second training in at 100%. So yeah, definitely the energy aspect, and then also the recovery. Muscle recovery.
That was something I just wanted to tell you that there's a vegan Facebook page called Vegan City Philadelphia, and I asked a whole bunch of those people for questions as to what they would ask you, and that was certainly one of the questions. They were really interested in the recovery aspects, that you thought that being a vegan helped you recover from your workouts better.
Yeah.
So what? I also hope to talk. I'm going to talk to your nutritionist later, Kelsey. And so, what would your typical food day be while you're with the union, and how do they help you? How do they help you achieve that?
Well, when I first started training with the first team, I mean, I haven't been here long, so I was
right.
I kind of like say Kelsey that I'm a vegan, and I never really told anybody until they approached me, or I think I kind of told somebody, and then they heard it through other people, and so ever since then, I've kind of noticed a huge change since we came back from the COVID break. That's kind of been they've kind of been making me a specific vegan meal after every training, which is really been helpful because it kind of saves me the time of having to go home and make myself my own meal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's always nice to have a good meal after training, like right after. It's really good for your recovery. So I've definitely noticed a huge change after the COVID break. But before then, I would kind of, especially on trips, that was when it was very difficult because I kind of had to bring my own almond milk or something like that, or kind of just at the meals just eat a salad when I know that's not really going to be enough to fill me up for a game or something. So I kind of had to bring my own food to kind of implement into my diet. But I think now that I let people know that I'm plant-based, I think they've been helping me a lot. They've been giving me really, really nice meals.
So, and have you been discussing this with your teammates also? Have they been supportive of this, or how have they reacted?
Well, my teammates were asking questions in the beginning. They were so surprised that I was plant-based because it's not really that common in the sports world. Yeah, there's maybe one on each team, but it's just becoming more and more researched and used in the sports world. So they kind of ask you questions like, well, what's your energy like? Where do you get your protein? All the basic questions, and I just answer them because I'm pretty. I did my research on the diet, so I kind of know a good deal about it. So whenever they ask me a question, I just answer it. They kind of just take it in. I mean, yeah, they're gonna give me some crap sometimes. They're like, "Oh, you're a vegan." I mean, but that's just gonna come. I know that it's really healthy and I really enjoy it. So I think they're pretty they're supportive of it. They don't really talk about it as much anymore.
Mm-hmm. Without naming names, are there any others that you think are leaning towards being vegetarian or vegan, or after having talked to you?
I mean, I've been trying to convince some of the guys. I've been telling them some of the health benefits, but at this point, I don't really know. There might be some people that are leaning towards maybe a vegetarian diet or pescatarian or something like that, but honestly, I don't really know.
Okay, so you mentioned almond milk. Is that your favorite non-dairy milk substitute beverage, whatever you want to call it?
Well, I really like almond milk because it's thin and it's light. I usually have that in my cereal, just an unsweetened 30-calorie almond milk.
Right.
But when I have coffee, I like to use soy milk because it's kind of like a creamier taste.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely say almond milk is my favorite milk substitute.
Okay, and that was certainly one of the questions, and you also answered the question about how you get your protein. That was certainly a question everybody was asking. That's probably the main question that vegetarians, vegans get asked the most, is how do you get your protein?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways to get your protein. Obviously, there's there's like a there's legumes, like beans and stuff, and then there's also, like, if you think about some of the strongest animals on the planet, if you think of like a gorilla or an elephant, those are all vegetarian animals. They don't eat any meat. So, and they're some of the strongest animals on the planet. So, I like to say I get my protein from where meat eaters' protein get their protein. So,
Right.
I mean, pretty much like amino acids carry protein. So, also protein is not as important as people think. Yeah, it's important to get your protein, but there's never really been a case of somebody who's died because of protein deficiency. So I try to get my protein in because I try to get maybe like an extra shake in because I know I have a different schedule than the average person because I train twice a day, most days, and I try to get maybe like an extra 20-gram protein shake, but that's about it. I don't really think about it too much because I know if I'm getting good vegetables in with essential amino acids, then I'll get the protein that I need.
Are there any other supplements that you believe that you need to take? Vitamins, iron, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of iron in cereal, so I don't really need too much like that. But yeah, I take a multivitamin just to kind of like make sure I get everything. Like a lot of people say that people that are plant-based need B12, which is it's not
B12.
really something that you really need. But I take a B12 pill like 3 times a week just to make sure that I get it, even though I don't really need it. But yeah, I just take a multivitamin just to stay healthy.
Is there specific, what you would call a performance food that you think helps in your workouts? You would always try to eat before you work out?
Well, I try to get when I have time, I try to make myself oatmeal with a bunch of fruit and nuts in it. But sometimes when I'm a little bit lazy in the morning, I'll just have like a smoothie with fruit, spinach, kale, and some peanut butter powder that gets like 10 grams of protein in it. So that's kind of like my easy meal when I need to get out of the house pretty quick.
Right.
That usually gets everything. And then I don't really like to eat too much before I work out because I might be different than other people. I like to play kind of on like a half empty stomach because I feel lighter and I don't know, just more energetic.
Okay. So, what's your living situation while you're here in Philadelphia? Are you sharing a place with somebody or other teammates? Or?
No, I'm living with my family.
Oh, nice.
So my family moved all the way from we went from Brussels to Virginia, and then the soccer in Virginia wasn't great, so we moved up here for me to play for the Union Academy when I was in 8th grade. So I've been living in Wayne for the past 5 years. So.
Oh, good. That helps.
Yes.
So, a couple of more specifics. What's your go-to treat food?
Well, I have a lot of them. I would say probably a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Those are like, I don't really have too many treats, I'm going to be honest. I kind of try to, ever since I've started this diet, I haven't really been in the mood for really unhealthy foods, but when I'm really in the mood for something unhealthy, I'll maybe have a donut or something like that. But most of the time, I usually just snack on some pretty healthy stuff like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Sometimes I do like a little bit of peanut butter with a banana or a smoothie or something like that. But yeah, I don't really snack too much. But when I do want an unhealthy treat, I'll go to like a donut or maybe like a Cinnabon or something like that.
No vegan ice cream or anything like that, or vegan gummy bears?
Yeah, well, I used to have vegan ice cream, but it's pretty fattening,
Yeah.
So I kind of
Yep.
stay away from that. But yeah, I'll have the vegan ice cream every once in a while. But now that the season started, I try to stay pretty healthy.
So, if do you go out to eat at all? And if you do, what's like your favorite place in the area?
Um, I don't go out as much as I used to because a lot of restaurants don't have a wide variety of plant-based options. So I kind of try to. My dad and I we're really local. My dad kind of introduced me to it, but I like to cook my own food, like stir fry or something like that, because you can kind of make it more personalized. And so I don't really go out too much, but when I do go out, I try to have maybe like a vegan pizza with just vegetables on it, like a variety of vegetables. And I don't really like the vegan cheese, to be honest.
Mm.
So I just try to stay away from that. And then I also like Mexican food because you get, I don't know, there's a pretty, like, you can be pretty plant based with that type of stuff because you can get like a burrito bowl or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, I don't really go out too much.
Okay, so in closing on the vegan thing, what have you learned making the change, and what would you want to share with other people that are thinking about going vegan, especially athletes? It so happens my nephew is a vegan athlete. His family has been vegan all their lives. He's a triathlete and a pro tennis teacher.
Yeah.
I've known vegan athletes, most of my life. But what kind of advice would you give?
My advice would just be kind of trust the process, and don't let yourself cheat because even though you might think that you love meat and you love cheese, the longer you are plant based, the more, I don't know, your taste buds change, so you appreciate the taste of vegetables more and healthy food more. So you kind of just need to trust the fact that your taste buds are going to change, and like it kind of becomes habit. Like, it's going to be hard in the beginning. It was really hard for me in the beginning, but now I'm kind of just in a flow now. Like, I don't even think about meat or cheese anymore. So I think it's just kind of, my advice would be to research it and don't really have any bias against it, because I feel like a lot of people in the sports world have a bias against the plant-based diet because they think you're not really getting the right amount of nutrition in it. So I would say research it, unbiased, and also if you do want to make the switch, try it out, and even if you don't like it, try it out for a good amount of time, maybe a month or so, just to give the diet a fair chance.
Okay, so let's transition to Orlando a little bit. Um, I had asked Jim a couple press conferences ago about whether you guys are going to be able to carry your nutrition programs down to Orlando with you, and he seems to think that they're going to provide a pretty healthy environment and healthy choices for people to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, and first of all, you're excited about going to Orlando, I'm assuming?
Yeah, for sure. It'll be fun.
Jim seemed to hint that you might actually get your actual debut down there at some point. So you must.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that?
hopefully I'll get that chance. That's the goal.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said I would love to have the chance to make my debut in Orlando.
Yeah. I assume you'd probably rather do it in front of 15,000 screaming fans in the river end, but any chance you get to make your debut should help.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Debu's a debut.
we know that you can play midfield as well as forward. Do you have a preference if they put you in the game where you'd like to play?
I mean, so I'm a natural winger, but I mean, I guess we don't really have those anymore. So I kind of got comfortable with midfield, but at the same time, I just want to play. So wherever Jim needs me, I'll go in and I'll be happy about it. So there's obviously I would like to play midfield, but striker, if I'm playing, I'm playing. That's all that matters.
What did you play most when you were on the Union two team or Bethlehem?
I played mid, so I played one of the side of the diamond, so midfield.
Okay, well, I will certainly be pulling for you down in Orlando, and hopefully I'll be able to see you make your debut at the odd hours you guys are going to be playing. We know it's going to be rough having a 9 o'clock start and then possibly a 4:30 and then a 10:30 or 8 o'clock and a 10:30. We know that's certainly against all your training.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. I have never played a game at 10:30 p.m. I played multiple games at 9 a.m., but I'm excited.
Okay, well, again, I appreciate your time. And do you happen to, can you think of any questions I should be asking Kelsey about when I interview her later this afternoon?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'll be able to talk to you again about this after this, or if we ever get back into the stadium and we're able to possibly interview you guys again. Obviously, probably not in the locker room for a long time, but hopefully we'll have some access. We'll have some access to you, and if and when the season ever gets back to Chester. And we wish you the best of luck, and really look forward to seeing you on the field in Orlando.
Thank you.
Okay, Erica.
Thanks, guys.
And I'm still. You're going to call me back again at 4 o'clock for Kelsey. Okay, great. Thank you very much again.
Bye, guys.
Bye.